Hello guys and welcome back to another React video. Today we're watching SunnyV2 again and we have Cocomelon, the most evil channel on YouTube. Let's see what this is about.
My son is almost 2 and I've been letting him watch Cocomelon, but now I had to get him speech therapy so I can get him to talk. There are hundreds and hundreds of anecdotes in which parents mention the exact same problem. The Cocomelon show is so insanely addictive, it's being compared to nicotine and causing developmental issues amongst the kids who can't stop watching. Children's TV expert Jerica Sands
What does that say? Wait, what?
Amongst the kids
More likely to show symptoms of ADHD.
who can't stop watching. Children's TV expert Jerica Sands calls it the most damaging show a child can watch, explaining the sneaky ways in which they make the show addictive. Firstly, there's the colors. Take for example the wheels on the bus.
I don't think I've ever heard of this in my entire life. Does that have 6.5 billion views? Oh my god. This video almost has as many views as there are human beings, and I've never heard of it. That's incredible.
The three main colors, blue, green, and yellow, are all at maximum saturation, meaning they cannot be made any brighter, no matter how hard you try. Extreme saturation is normally used for alerts and notifications, as it's exciting, dynamic, and attracts attention, which is why it's also used in slot machines. Cocomelon puts these colors in perfect—
I hate learning this. I hate hearing about this, because just by seeing the damn colors, I feel like someone is attempting to infiltrate my brain.
contrast, making them appear even more vibrant,
Ugh.
which is different to, for example, Bluey, in which the colors instead blend together. Cocomelon's also different because it's highly repetitive. There's a reason they have 38 videos with over 1 billion views.
How is that even possible? 1 billion? How have I never heard of this? Maybe because I'm not a child, but like, what the fuck?
Brain is wired to learn through repetition, so it feels right to them to watch the same thing over and over again. Cocomelon abuses this.
Maybe that's why I could replay games so much as a kid, and as an adult, I just don't want to. Or maybe it's because I just didn't have as many games. I don't know. But I used to play the demos of games over and over and over again, even.
In almost every video. For example, in the Yes Yes Playground song, they pick a word to repeat 3 times in every sentence, pairing it with a subtly repeating background lullaby, keeping children hooked. Literally no show or movie puts my son into a deep trance the way Cocomelon does. The second it's on the TV, he turns into a toddler zombie who doesn't see or hear anything else that's going on in the room. This is only exacerbated by Cocomelon's subtitles, which have also been a heavy point of criticism. The letters are not educational, I can barely read them fast enough. It's simply another interesting element to capture your little one's attention. Cocomelon explains in every description, our goal is to help make learning a fun and enjoyable experience for kids, giving you the peace of mind that your children are receiving quality educational content. But people have argued that they're teaching exactly what children shouldn't do. For example, in the No No Bedtime song, the baby refuses to brush his teeth, have a bath, put on pajamas, or get in bed. The education is that he eventually agrees to do so, yet a TikTok user was critical, stating, anytime I'd ask my son to do a simple task, he'd say no, no, no. He's sitting there watching Cocomelon, which taught him no, 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 and to say no to me. On the topic of education, Jerica Sands stated, these people don't give a shit about our children. They care about money. That's it. Your child's cognitive development in direct exchange for their wealth.
Did you not, like, watch the videos before you started showing it to your kid? Or are they just not all this bad? I don't understand.
And there's pretty good evidence supporting this. A New York Times journalist visited Cocomelon's studio, discovering their #1 focus is keeping children hooked. Cocomelon's data and analytics team sifts constantly through YouTube numbers to determine exactly what resonates. Should a girl wear black jeans or blue jeans? Should the music be louder or softer? Should the bus be yellow or red? Yellow is the answer, as they use a darker method to ensure that they're correct. Cocomelon has a dedicated designated Distractotron room, in which once a month children are brought here one at a time and shown a handful of episodes to figure out exactly which parts of the shows are engaging and which are tuned out. Next to the TV playing Cocomelon, there's a second screen which plays a continuous loop of banal real-world scenes. A guy pouring a cup of coffee, someone getting a haircut, each lasting about 20 seconds. Whenever a youngster looks away from the Moonbug show to glimpse the Distractotron, a note is jotted down. We can see what they're looking at and the exact moment when they got distracted. Therefore, education clearly isn't the primary goal. Keeping kids' attention is, and this is proven by Cocomelon's most addictive element, rapid camera cutting. It's crazy how many times
I hate that in like normal content. Anytime the camera just cut, and it's all these like memes and shit. I feel like you need ADHD to watch that kind of video. I'm used to like 30-minute Let's Play videos of someone having no cuts at all whatsoever, just sitting down and playing through a game. That's what I grew up with. Not even grew up with, right? Because that wasn't a thing until I was already like 10 or something. But you know.
On Cocomelon. It's the same type of addicting behavior that we experience on a TikTok binge. It's the quick change of frame that releases that dopamine and makes the videos addicting to watch. Count the seconds between a change of frame. Well, TikToker the Circus Brain did exactly this. He firstly counts the changes on My Little Pony, concluding there's about 6 seconds between each cut. He then compares it to Cocomelon.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1.
In her video, The Nightmare That Is Cocomelon.
It doesn't even look like a real video when it cuts that much. It looks like you're looking at some weird benchmark of pre-renders, you know what I mean?
Savantix draws a similar conclusion. She found that 96% of the shots in Baby Shark were
Cocomelon is that's what all these stupid motherfuckers sing is from Cocomelon. I've heard the Baby Shark song. I don't think I've ever watched whatever it's from through, but my God, even adults I know will not shut up about that.
Shorter than 2 seconds.
Oy.
He then compares 4 different animated shows, again finding Cocomelon has the shorter shots.
The longest shot on a Cocomelon video was 6 seconds. The longest shot on Arcane was 8 seconds. The longest shot on Bluey was 27 seconds.
Woo!
And the longest shot on Encanto was 18 seconds.
Which when combined with
What the fuck is Encanto?
every other element creates some terrifying statistics. Dr. Kristen Summer explained that when showing an infant normal video content, they'll focus on the screen just 11% of the time. However, when the video is instead switched to Cocomelon, their screen engagement skyrockets to a whopping 74%. This therefore produces stories such as this. I used to volunteer for a preschool and they had song time. A Cocomelon video came on and all of the tots stopped what they were doing, put down their cheese crackers, and remained fixated on the screen for the duration of the video. It was honestly kind of terrifying. YouTuber Saberspark
You can do that same thing with adult males. Just put on like a Mexican Pepsi advertisement. You know what I mean?
shared his own personal anecdote. He asked to watch a Disney movie with his two younger cousins, who both completely refused, and instead spent all day glued to an iPad playing the addictive show. In Cocomelon Made My Kid a Zombie, a mother talks about her son. He would be in a daze while watching it. You could be waving your hand right in front of his face, and he wouldn't move. It was almost scary. This was also discovered by Sarah Mills 98, who explained when the Cocomelon addiction is so real that my 1-year-old can navigate the TV to turn it on by himself. However, nothing shows the addiction better than the Cocomelon TikTok trend. Parents will play the show's intro loudly and video their kids sprinting toward the television, where you can witness their mood change instantly. The New York Times journalist found something similar. The kid in the Distractotron had shown up in the midst of a tantrum, which ended the second he heard the Cocomelon theme song. It was no surprise to Wheeler, the head of research. 99% of kids, he said, if they're having issues when they get here, once that Cocomelon song comes on, they're like, life is okay, all is good with the world.
So it's like a drug, Pretty much.
Obviously, there's a reason for this. Cocomelon is so hyper-stimulating that it actually acts as a drug, and what happens when you take the drug away? Young children experiencing symptoms of addiction and withdrawal, obviously leaving them—
You're kidding me. Is this real? Some stupid YouTube show that I've never heard of is so addicting that it can give you withdrawal symptoms because of fast cuts and colors? Is this why Zoomers are so fucked up and why shorts were invented?
completely dysregulated.
This is insane.
TikTok user ThePoff1 filmed what happens when you take the show away, explaining he'll be inconsolable for at least 10 to 15 mins after, adding in the description, Cocomelon meltdown is legit. Once you have a taste of the cocoa, it's hard to break the addiction, which this Reddit user had experienced even worse.
How?
My husband and I have been worried about our child. I can slowly see how she'd throw violent tantrums at home and in church whenever she'd get bored and would want to watch the show. Her behavior changes the moment she watches the show, and she will not even eat her meals if she wouldn't watch it.
If this is how your child behaves, look, what should we do? I bought her toys, she'd rather watch a show. Don't show her it. If this is the result, Jesus fucking Christ, take care of your children. Children cannot self-regulate. Even teenagers cannot self-regulate. You need to decide what they can and cannot do. You don't... Would you let your teenager go out and smoke weed all the time, and then every time he comes home and you stop him from having weed, he throws a tantrum, so you're like, oh, well, I guess I'll just let him go. No, you fucking wouldn't. And this is the same thing. As the parent, you need to know this stuff. You need to figure this stuff out, you know?
After these tantrums end, kids can experience a general discomfort in the speed of everyday life. The more they watch the show, the more their brain begins to expect this intense level of stimulation.
Basically, Cocomelon.
This is literally describing the entire Gen Z. Like, this is why they can't just have a normal conversation. It's why when you take longer than 2 minutes to respond, they think you hate them. Why they made slang for someone not responding back. Like, this is describing everything about Generation Z.
And overstimulates their brains so much that everything else just seems slow and boring in comparison.
However, the potential consequences get
This is
much
so
worse than
Zoomer.
this. As mentioned at the start, it was the cause of a child's speaking problems, with a notable reply reading, same thing happened with my daughter too. She's 4 but can't speak properly.
What?
She knows the words, but she does not like to frame the sentence or speech. She has been watching these Cocomelons or such other stuffs for 2 or 3 years. Hope we're not too late. Over on Reddit,
How did you let this go on for years? Are you not watching your children? What is going on?
Language pathologist explained, screen time in general is linked with speech delays for a variety of reasons, but Cocomelon is excessively bad. Firstly, unlike other TV shows or movies, it doesn't have a story. It's just very short clips with poorly written songs. The kids aren't able to follow the plot, learn vocabulary, and see the resolution of a conflict, supported by infant specialist Meg Fora.
And the problem with fast-paced
So what, Cocomelon's just songs? That's it? It's just a bunch of songs?
TV programs is that we
I
find
don't know what it is.
the little one's language development is slower.
On the Agents of Speech YouTube channel, this is again confirmed.
The main problem with watching videos on the internet is that they don't know how to use the language that they learn.
But he adds that 4 to 5 hours of screen time per day can make a toddler completely non-verbal. 4 to 5 hours is obviously a lot of time, but in Cocomelon made my
It's
kid
not just screen time. Nah, don't give me that shit. When I was 3, I got my first Game Boy, got a PlayStation sometime after that. Had my first computer when I was 4. I was put on screens all the time in front of TVs, in front of, just the computer, the consoles. I did this all the time, and I cannot shut up with talking at this point. I talk all the damn time now. So it's not just screen time. I'm a millennial, but I grew up with so much screen time. By the time I was a teenager, I would sit in front of a computer for 23 hours a day, sleep for only 1 day, drinking 8 cans of Mountain Dew a day, eating way too much, thousands upon thousands of calories, skinny, by the way, and this did not affect my ability to speak at all.
Zombie, researchers discovered that 5-year-olds who watch more than 2 hours of TV a day
Nah.
tended to have lower attention spans
Nah.
and were 7.7 times more likely
Nah.
to show symptoms of ADHD.
Nah, don't give me that shit, man. I had like a dozen hours of screen time at minimum every day for my entire life. I don't have ADHD. I have an attention span much, much better than Zoomers, who is clearly what we're talking about here. This is not a screen time thing. Video games aren't going to make you become a murderer. This is some bullshit. This is some new age bullshit. This is the millennial version of millennials' parents thinking that video games and D&D were going to turn them into serial killers. That's what this is. I can believe if it's one show or like something specific, but screen time, don't give me that shit, man. I'm in front of a screen every day, and I've been like that ever since I had sentience. So nah, dude.
ADHD. These screen times might be even lower for Cocomelon specifically, because as explained by Jerica Sands, not all screen time is created equal. A child who just watched 30 minutes of Cocomelon and a child who just watched 30 minutes of Trash Truck will look like a very, very different child. Thankfully, here lies a simple solution. Sierra Renee explained my 2-year-old is speech delayed and addicted to Cocomelon. Switched to Miss Rachel 2 days ago, and he's already saying more words and
What
has
the fuck is Miss Rachel? Dude, where the fuck is Dora the Explorer right now? Where's Diego? Where's Tom and Jerry? Where's Blue's Clues? Dude? Where's Code Lyoko? Where's Billy and Man? What's going on? What is all this crap?
hasn't had any tantrums. Kim.it shared an
Where's
almost
SpongeBob?
identical anecdote. My 8-month-old was obsessed with
Drake and
Cocomelon
Josh.
and having bad
The
tantrums.
Amanda Show.
So I cancelled Cocomelon and only let her watch Miss Rachel, and she said her first word within the first 3 days of watching. Clearly, parents are able to simply change the channel,
Yeah.
but not before leaving Cocomelon a massive amount of dislikes. They've therefore earned the title, The Absurdly Popular Kids Show Parents Hate, and Cocomelon has actually responded to the criticism that explain our shows are not intended to replace outdoor playtime or playdates. They have a place in children's entertainment time, and as with food, exercise, etc., it comes down to each parent to find the right and appropriate balance for their children. Our responsibility is ensuring that the quality of the content that we produce is high and beneficial for the development of a child's cognitive and soft skills. It is worth adding that our social media communities are filled with stories of parents who experience firsthand how Moonbug content helps their children. Cocomelon does have a crazy amount of supporters, but it's obvious that some of them are simply ignoring the downsides. My baby learned the alphabet and numbers from Cocomelon. She may not speak a complete sentence, but she expresses her wants through phrases. But is it Cocomelon's responsibility to ensure that babies are talking? Well,
No, it's the parents. That's your job. I feel, don't quote me on this. This is just logical, so that's why I'm saying it. I feel like if you're a parent and it's time for your kid to go to kindergarten and you hand in a kid, like you hand it in like it's your homework, and it doesn't know how the fuck to speak, that kid's going to get taken away from you. Because we don't make you get a license to have one, but the government will sure as hell take it away if they think you're doing something wrong. Oh shit, it's already almost the end of the video. Jesus.
Oh no. People love blaming cartoons and games for raising children, and not the shitty parents that don't step in to stop them from watching so much.
Of course. Because what do you think the parents are doing while this happens for years and affects the development of their kids? What do you think the parents are doing? They're on their phones. They're taking a nap. They're watching their own shows. They're playing video games. They're doing something else that is not interacting with their kids. That's what's happening. That's how, if you actually put one video, one Coco, whatever the fuck, video on as like a treat, you know, kind of like, hey, here's this thing you like. You were good today. Here's this thing you like for like, what is like a 6-minute episode? I don't know how long they are, but you just put on one of them and then you used it the way media is really supposed to be used when interacting with children. It's not supposed to be an endless binge. You wouldn't have this problem no matter how addictive the content was. You wouldn't. Like, I drank 8 cans of Mountain Dew a day. Why? Because my mom let me. And because of that, I never drank water. The taste of water, the texture of it disgusted me. It made me want to vomit. I would just drink Mountain Dew and eat pizza because that's what my mother allowed me to do. Because of that, I couldn't do the normal things. I had to force myself to learn how to drink water and eat other foods as an adult. And it was not easy. It is the parent's choice to let you do this. You should not let your kid do this. Do not put your kid in front of a fucking screen for 6 hours straight and then wonder why it's not learning how to speak. Maybe you should have spent that 6 hours talking to your fucking kid.
Cocomelon is actually a really sad symbol of parents giving their children tablets instead of actually parenting and interacting with them.
Oh, but I need a break. You can need a break too. You know what we did? You know what happened to our generation when our parents needed a break? They got someone to babysit. They set up play dates. You know, things like that. They sent us to summer camp, activities. They didn't put a screen in front of us so that they could go do their hobbies. They complained that having a kid sucked, probably, I don't know, while they actually took care of the fucking kid. But yeah, that's the video. That's what it is. That's where it is. That's how it is. And that was special. I still don't understand what Cocomelon is. I just know that it's addictive, and I understand that many parents are apparently using it to try to teach and parent their children. Why would you let a YouTube video parent your children? I don't understand. Government, why don't we have a license on the act of procreation yet? I don't know. I also don't know how you live life without this sponsor. I'm kidding. I don't have sponsors. I'm too small of a channel for that. But what I don't know sometimes is what to watch next. So you should, in the comments below, leave any suggestions that you have for what video you would like me to react to next. Do not leave links. Leave those in the Discord in the description below. Remember when everyone used to read descriptions? Another thing, Zoomers, what did your parents do to you to get you to stop reading descriptions, bro? Go in the fucking description, read it, join the Discord, and leave some links. If you even made it this far. We're 25 minutes. Can you sit through 25 minutes of not Cocomelon? What the fuck was I saying? I don't know. Thanks for watching. Have a good night. Bye-bye.